Hello, everyone. It's Sunday night, and we're here with an extra special Man United agenda report on the goings on of our club. Let's get into it. You're all very welcome. I am Rebel, and I'm back from my 2 week absence, and I'm here with a very special episode of the Man United agenda because there's a lot to talk about, and I'm joined by OMONDI and Colm. How are we doing, gentlemen?
Well, you know how I'm doing. I've been disappointed by the results, disappointed with all things Man United. I had to leave my house today and encounter people, and I was getting a lot of abuse. So I went to football today. You can imagine the abuse I was getting all day. So I've had to sort of remain sort of calm and poker faced about it all, and I'm going to let it all out tonight.
Very good, very good. Colm, how we doing?
Yeah, I'm feeling a bit better. Obviously, not been very well recently. The result yesterday just kind of added to that, but I'm feeling a little bit better today. So yeah, it's looking good now.
Very good, very good. I'll tell you now, the stories that I've released today, a bit like our weather at the moment, have left me a bit thunderstruck. We have a nice brewing thunderstorm outside, but before we get into the nitty gritty of that rumour, I want to touch on this. Last season, we had a problem with leaks in the camp going to the press and airing our laundry out in public. Does the story that we're about to get into fill you with concern that that leak issue still remains at club? I'm going to start with you, Colm, please.
Yeah, it's a massive issue and it does worry me. We saw what issues it caused last year, and if it's back again now, it's just going to cause the same problems this year.
And Monday?
I'm not sure. We sort of have alleged names, some suspects from last year. People, one of them, the goalkeepers, left the club now. Who the mole was, who's the one leaking information. I just think because we're such a big name, and it's like we always produce news. Even like we're bottom of the league now, and everything's going wrong. We're always in the news, and Man United stories sell. So if you're offered to leak something, or you got someone in the kitchen staff, or someone would say something, I'm sure people will reveal something for a bit of a dough. If a reporter came along, like yourself, Rebel, and tried to swing it with one of the staff, say what's going on behind the scenes at Manchester United. Because I know that's what you do with Rebel. You're always putting your ear to the ground. I don't know where you get your info from. Maybe you're involved in this as well. I don't know.
I can neither confirm nor deny any allegations. But
just quickly, sorry, before you go on, I just want to say hi to Gaming Loader. I've just been talking to him, our friend from TikTok. He's a top Man United fan, top channel as well on TikTok. Big up Gaming Loader. We were just having a conversation about this, so maybe you can just add your comments into the comment section there about how we feel about this situation Rebel's going to bring up today. Thank you.
Very good, very good. And I will say hello to Viking Red, Matthew Bassett, Bath Time with Vaughan, Box, and what else have we in MUFC who have joined us in the chat to partake in tonight's discussion. So welcome all, welcome all. So we have a report today that Manchester United are actually considering the termination of one Cristiano Ronaldo. This has come via Sky Sports, and we believe that this story has been deleted since. But let's flesh out the actual details of this. So, Monday, would you mind taking away this piece for me?
No problem, sir. So Man United deny reports Cristiano Ronaldo's contract could be terminated. Man United have denied claims that they want to see a change in attitude from Cristiano Ronaldo, or he risks having his contract terminated. The Portuguese stormed off of the pitch at full time on Saturday, following his side's humiliating 4-0 defeat to Brentford. Sky Sports reported that the 37-year-old could be shown the exit door at Old Trafford if his attitude does not improve in the coming weeks. But the club have swiftly denied these reports. Ronaldo's current deal at Manchester expires next summer, although United have the option to extend it by a further year. Ronaldo missed the team's pre-season tour of Thailand and Australia for personal reasons, but he was publicly admonished by Ten Hag for leaving Old Trafford before full-time during the friendly with Rayo Vallecano last month. It is unacceptable for everyone, the Dutchman said, when quizzed on several players leaving the match early. I am telling them that it's unacceptable. We are a team, a squad, until something. Viking Red, you need to move your comment. I'll do that. Yeah. Sorry. Until the end, we stay together. That's from Ten Hag.
Thank you very much for taking that one away for us. So, Colin, I'm going to start with you. We have had, for the last month or so, speculation around the future of one Cristiano Ronaldo while he was at home. And obviously, the reasoning for that is varying depending on what source that you listen to. But Ten Hag has always said that he's established good communication with Ronaldo. But given that we could possibly have sold him, how unlikely is it that we would actually consider selling or releasing an asset and paying him out in his contract when there was the possibility of initiating a transfer for that player?
It's very unlikely if we look at it, but it could happen. Ten Hag needs to make these decisions, and the board need to back him on these decisions. If we look at it the other way as well, I suppose nobody's wanting Ronaldo. Nobody wants to pay for Ronaldo. So if it is becoming an issue, this is the only way to get Ronaldo out of the club is to terminate his contract and pay him off. There's no other way of doing it.
No. That being said, on Monday, obviously at the disappointing game yesterday, which we will not speak of any further, that has been well and truly covered. There was a sequence after the game where Ronaldo was pretty much within 4 to 5 feet of Ten Hag, and he didn't seem to even make eye contact with them. How do you feel about the way that Ronaldo conducted himself walking off field? Obviously, he was hurting from the way the game went, but do you feel that he should have acknowledged his manager and presented a united front, even in the face of that horrific defeat?
Ronaldo is petulant, in my opinion. You don't do that. If there's something going on behind the scenes, in public, you don't show that. You've got to show support of the manager. Now, when the manager first came, he said, I support you, I endorse this guy, whatever. But since he's come along and wanted to move and can't get his own way, I've seen a lot of stuff. We had a drinks break in the pre-season. He was arguing, it seemed like he was arguing. The manager trying to tell him something, and his body language was really negative. And I didn't like that at all. That's undermining the manager in front of players as well. As a manager, you'll be fuming. You'd want to string him up there and there, but you have to hold this down. And then there's other situations. He didn't go on tour, for example, as we read out just a minute ago. He didn't go on tour. What's the reasons, So I think he's undermining the manager. The manager's got to have some sort of hierarchy here, that he's the boss and he's got to set his standard from day one. And when you've got a guy acting a fool like this, it's undermining you. So a decision needs to be made whether you keep someone on board who's going to continue to undermine you because he won't get his own way. If the transfer window closed and he still remains there, how do you know this guy is not going to sort of mess things up and just make you look, another argument in training? We only see what's on television cameras, and that's bad enough. Imagine what's going on behind the scenes. You understand what I'm saying? Who runs the changing room? It should be the manager. There should be one boss, strictly alone. I don't care if you're Ronaldo, Pele, Maradona, whoever. You always got to respect your boss, your manager, because he's the leader. He's the one that gives instructions. And you realize by doing that on camera, you're undermining him in front of the public, the whole public, and that's not acceptable. So a decision has to be made, and that's why we're here Sunday night. We're having a show about this, and there's so much speculation about mutual termination of his contract.
And I actually have some breaking news. Sky Sports reporter SHAH has said that Manchester United are in the market for a forward. What he has said is on Sky Sports, Anthony Martial played very well in pre-season, so you will be giving Ronaldo competition, and I think they'll still be in the market to bring someone in to strengthen that forward line. So that is from Darmish on Sky, which is just after breaking in the last couple of minutes. Now, of course, we have already pulled out of a deal for Marko Arnautovic. Again, similar to this story, it leaked out into the press, and there was a universal backlash from the fan base to it, to the point that Manchester United decided to get out of the water. But in the event that Ronaldo is paid off, we let him go. How critical, Colm, is it that we get a viable replacement? Because if you remember last season, we would not have made it to the knockout stages of Champions League, and we would have been about 20 goals to poor overall last season, when we weren't exactly setting the world on fire with goals. And this season, in 2 games, we've only managed 1.
Well, Is Ronaldo's irreplaceable? You know, you can't actually replace Ronaldo if he does decide, to mutually mutually stop his contract with United. But we need one. We need a striker in this club. We've got Martial. Yes, he can do a job for us, but who have we got then? If Martial's out injured, who have we got? Nobody. So we need to bring somebody in, even if it's just backup. But we need somebody that's going to be there challenging. If Ronaldo stays, I still think we need to bring somebody in regardless. We need that competition, and we need somebody that's going to put goals in the back of the net for us because we're not scoring any.
Exactly. And Monday, same point to you. Obviously, 1 goal in 2 games against what would have been perceived the lower end of the table opposition, which obviously no points from those 2 games is a concern for us. But more importantly, we did not look like scoring at any stage during those 2 games, really, did we?
Look, we're in a transition right now. You've got to stick with it. We've got to change in style, new identity of football, and which is alien to some of these players out here. They need to be coached or they need to be kicked out because they can't pick it up. We tried it yesterday, for example. They put a high press on us because they knew that the identity, he got his book. Everyone's got his book. Everyone knows what he's going to do out there. We're going to try and play out from the back. So they knew to press the guy to do it. The guy they pressed last week was Fred, and he crumbled. The guy they pressed this week was Ericsson, and you expect Ericsson to scan everything, see things on a half turn, but even he got pinched and they scored from it. But we got to persist with this until we get the right players in to do the right role and the right job, because currently we don't have those players at our football club who can perform that way. So I think if we have to take a loss, save getting relegated, if we have to take a loss until we get it right and get the right players in and work towards that goal, I think you should not change your tactics. You should stick with what you know. Otherwise, I might as well just tear up this book of tactics of Ten Hag and, it's put it in the bin, because it's really important. This is your style of football. This is what you implement. Otherwise, you go back to Rangnick. What Rangnick did, he tried to implement something, realised I've got these players aren't good enough, and straight away, 2 games later, he's gone back to suiting the players, playing for the players to get results. I think we really need to persist with it because it will work and it will be a beautiful game of football once we stick with Ten Hag's philosophy. Don't let go of that. Even if teams are pressing us, we will make mistakes, but we will get better at it.
Thank you, Monty. Now, before you get into the comments, because I do want to know what our wonderful viewers think of this whole Ronaldo situation, I do want to mention that we are coming to the closing stages of the registration for our Fantasy Football League. The code there is 1CZLY1. You will find the website at fantasy.premierleague.com. And of course, myself and Colin will be back with you Tuesday at 8:30 for the Fantasy Football Show. But if you want to get involved in the league, tomorrow is going to be the closing date for entries. So act now. Monday, take away some comments for us there, please.
Okay, MUFC saying he's going to have to misbehave so he gets a move. So he thinks he's doing this on purpose. Bath time with Vaughan. How you doing, bruv? He said Fred would do better up front than Ronaldo at the moment. Emma K, how you doing? She says terminating his contract could also be a precedent for other players. Bath time says his conduct on and off the pitch is unacceptable. Box saying Ronaldo's just throwing his toys at the pram. Once the window ends, he'll be fine. Vincent Bullock is saying to this panel a question: do you think it was gusting of Brentford Football Club putting stewards right in front of the Glazers outside, so we wouldn't be seen on TV? But in the end, got to be seen or something. Terminates contract, says MUFC, shouldn't mean we pay him off. It's a win-win for Ronaldo. I wouldn't be happy with this. Bath time before saying that he's not fighting for the team. He wants out. He's not working, and he's taking a pee with his lack of work rate. Boot him and see who's willing to take him. That's a good one there. I want to say again to Gaming Loader, obviously go and check him out. TikTok, #1 Man United channel. He's saying, MUFC, this is my feeling exactly. He would have got what he wanted. But Monday made a good point earlier. Do we want to keep a player on 500 grand a week that has an attitude problem like that? Vaughan, Boxer saying to Vaughan, Ronaldo has shown more work rate than Rashford in both games. Ronaldo is, all right, anyway, a B, but he's our best goal threat, the only goal threat. He puts the work rate in. So you see there's different opinions in the comments right now. Emma saying, I keep the same energy for all players. If they want out, boot them out, especially when they kick up a fuss. So there you go. I'll leave it as that for now, but you can see the feeling in the comments.
Thanks very much, OMONDI. And I do want to ask those in the viewership, have we missed the boat on potential striking targets given how deep in the window we are, and that a lot of our shortlist, I'd imagine, has joined other clubs at this juncture? And who is left? It has been mentioned a number of times that Mr. Bellotti is still without a club, I believe. Is that correct, Colin? Do you know?
Yeah, at the current moment, he's still without a club.
So do let us know who you think it would be achievable to sign at this juncture, and we'll take a selection of those views towards the end of the show. But I do want to move on to the next one, and that is that there's urgency believed to be in the getting the Rabiot deal across the line. I'm going to we don't have a graphic view, but I am going to read you a quick piece on this. Manchester United have been boosted in their attempts to lure Adrian Rabiot to Old Trafford, as Juventus need to get this deal done quickly, obviously because they want to get Pardis signed on their books. The Red Devils have made a nightmare start to their season following their 4-0 hammering at Brentford. Manchester United appear to have moved a step closer to getting a deal over the line, as it is understood that the director, John Murta, held a positive meeting with Rabiot's agent, his mother, Veronica, after travelling to Turin before the weekend. Although a salary is still being negotiated behind closed doors, the Guardian have revealed that the initial £15 million fee has been agreed between the Red Devils and Juventus. The proposed deal, the central midfielder is in the final 12 months of his £175,000 per week contract, and Juventus have prioritised signing Paris Saint-Germain player Luis Pardis to replace him. But however, there is still some gap in the reported salary. So some people in Twitter and Manchester United fans have viewed him as the French Scott McTominay. How do you feel about this signing? I'm going to start with you on Monday. And do you think this is something that needs to be gotten across the line?
Right. One thing we can't do is be influenced by media, especially negative reports, that kind of thing. Footballers, if you realise what goes on behind the scenes with footballers, a lot of them are millionaires. They make a lot of money. Sometimes they go nightclubbing. Oh, that's not so bad. Look what they used to do in the 80s, the 70s. It was just drinking culture, that kind of thing. People make mistakes. People do foolishness. All I'm hearing in the media about this guy is negative stuff about what he's done at Paris, what he's done at Juve, attitude problems, all this kind of thing. But I know him from watching him on the TV and watching him as a footballer, and I think, oh my God, I heard Rabiot. I thought, yeah, good player. And then when I'm hearing all this negative, I'm thinking, is this trying to turn people off this guy? Can they not go and watch him play? Have they not been watching him play? He's a good footballer. French international, played for 2 top teams in Europe. I mean, what's not to like? And yes, he's cultured. He's a cultured midfielder with a beautiful left foot. He sort of reminds me of Redondo, the way he waltzes around the pitch with his left foot like that. Really press resistant, big and strong. He'd claw your face out if you get near him. He can, move you about like that. Good player. He can come deep, collect the ball, and drive past players. He's good at driving with the ball as well. He plays with his head up. I like him as a player, and I'm all for it. 15 million quid. I'm happy about that. Let's get the deal done and let's see what he's got. And let's get behind players. Don't you want players with character? Don't you want players with a bit of fire in their belly? Here we have it in Rabiot. Bring it on.
Thank you, Monday. Now, Colin, I'm going to come to you with the viewpoints of the Juventus fans. Apparently, there's not a lot of fans that are going to cry about his departure, and a lot of them are going to be relieved to see him gone. Taking that into account, do you think that should have any effect on Manchester United pursuing this fella? And should we, as fans of Manchester United, be little bit nervous that the other fan base is glad to see the back of him, reportedly?
No, I don't think we should be concerned at all about it. Just like what Monday said, we've seen him on TV. We've seen what he's capable of doing. In games, he's capable of changing games if he needs to. We know what the Italian culture is like in football anyway. It's very up and down there, as it is. But I'm just going to bring something in very quickly, because obviously, if he's scheduled to be signed very, very shortly, we could see a new midfield 2 coming in before Liverpool, because I've seen a tweet by Alex Crook, who's quite good at reporting. And he's saying that the De Jong deal will be done before the next game.
What?
Whoa!
Say that louder. Say that again.
Alex Crook has said Frankie de Jong will be a Manchester United player before the Liverpool game next Monday.
Colin, isn't it interesting that we said by the 13th, which was Saturday, when they had to register their squad, we would know more about this deal. And that's amazing that you're saying that now. I've sort of given up about the deal, but yeah, maybe that's good news.
That is groundbreaking news, to be honest with
You
you.
heard it here
And
first.
so, again, I'm going to throw this out to the comments. If Rabiot and De Jong are done and dusted before Liverpool game, do you think that changes our prospects for that game? And would you see them going both straight into the starting midfield? Let us know in the comments. But while they are debating that on Monday, I want to actually touch on one of the any other businesses, and that is something again, Colin, that you brought to us. So maybe you might take this one for us. Anthony apparently has been speaking to a media outlet. What has he said?
Yeah, so this has come from Fabrizio Romano. Anthony has told NOS, which is, I'm assuming, is a media outlet over in the Netherlands. He's quoted saying, "Will Ten Hag call me? No idea. He has to discuss this with my agents. I'm focused here. What will come will come. We will see. I feel good at Ajax. I give everything for this club every minute. So I'm loving this city and this club."
On Monday, does that say to you, come and get me, I'm interested? Or is it a bit of a bridge too far in terms of the money that Ajax are looking for that asset?
It's too late now. I mean, when he showed his interest when Ten Hag first left, he said, "If you need me, I'm there for you." And this was a few months ago. We're going back to May or June. And since then, if he really wanted to move, he's seen that Ajax have priced him out of it with 100 million. Obviously, there's phone calls. There must be some sort of communication. He needs to do a bit more than just come out and say something stupid like that. He needs to upset Ajax fans and try and get the deal done if he really wants to come, because we are desperate for him. And I think it's a great time for him to come, because if he comes now, he'd be seen as a savior, quite possibly.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And just another little bit of any other business. Speaking of midfielders, a guy that we have got eyes on in the Brighton game, we are being linked with Moses Caicedo, 20-year-old midfielder who only arrived at Brighton last season, and he's had a bit of a star-studded 12 months. He was loaned out initially, and due to a shortage of midfielders, Brighton had to call him back sometime after the winter break or the winter transfer window last year, and he nailed down a spot for himself. And now Arsenal and Manchester United apparently are casting eyes. So you got to look at him last week, Monday. What do you think of this guy? And is it, again, something a bit too early that we're being linked with players because of our midfield problems?
Look, I don't want to see this guy as linked with him. We were linked with him before he went to Brighton. We could have got him for really cheap, under £10 million from South America. He was on our radar, and then he went to Brighton, and now it's like, oh, we want him now. You know, it's like that Little Britain, don't want him. Oh, I don't want it now. You know, oh, I want that one, and then I don't want it now. That sort of thing. It's terrible, absolutely terrible. What does it take for him to come to Brighton and perform well in the league for us to realise actually he was a good player? What's our scouting network for? You know, we could have got him for pretty cheap. Anyway, he roughed up Ericsson for the second goal against Brighton the other day. Ericsson was trying to run with him. He's just like, get off me, you know, and just strode past him. He's been bossing midfield against us, especially, and he's playing well in the Prem for someone his age. A good prospect, but I don't like the idea of signing him now, because we should have got him before. Don't you think, Colin?
No, I agree. 100%. I'm in the same predicament as what most United fans are. What is our scouting network doing? You know, we had a chance to sign this, and I've just seen Matthew saying there we could have bought him for $5 million. $5 million. And we've had to wait until he goes to Brighton, puts in a stellar performance against us, and now we're like, oh, you know, he's actually a good player. It's a joke, isn't it? It's just a joke.
It does raise questions over what our scouting network was doing for the past number of seasons, certainly. Now, there's one more bit of any other business, but Monday, why don't you give us the pulse of the comments and see where people are at with all what we've discussed today?
Okay, so just going back, obviously it's going to be a mixed bag here, not necessarily on topic, but Gaming Loader saying Gakpo from PSV has been mentioned. Thoughts on him? We did do a show on Gakpo recently, but maybe after we can just quickly just say yes or no. Bartholomew said, I cannot believe the managers asked them to play like that. It's lunacy. Flex Felix is saying Isaac from Real Sociedad could be a good signing for us. And this one's for you, Colin. It's from Jackie. She said, Colin, because she knows you're a goalkeeper coach. What do you think about David De Gea's reluctance to play up from the back to certain teammates? Is it because he lacks vision, or does he not trust teammates? Do you want to just jump on that one?
Yeah, I'm going to go from obviously the most recent game, which was yesterday. I don't think he trusts certain players in his back line. That's why he doesn't play the ball to him at all. We know he's not really switched on with the whole playing from the back thing either at the minute. I watched the United game back earlier today on Match of the Day, and the second goal, we talked about it yesterday on Monday. De Gea's picked out Eriksen, who's got a man on his shoulder. He's literally on his shoulder. There's no running to the ball. De Gea should have noticed that, and he's played that ball to Eriksen because he doesn't trust passing the ball to Maguire. And that's what it is. He doesn't want to give the ball to certain players, and Maguire is probably one of those players that he just doesn't trust has the capability and technical ability to turn and push forward with the ball.
Okay. Next one is Boxers saying Juve were glad to see Ramsey, Morata, Bernardeschi go too. They're in a state of decline themselves as a club. Robert Wagner, how you doing? He says him and his mummy, talking about Rabiot, are drama bees. I'll say no to him. So he's saying no to Rabiot. Bartham saying no, it doesn't. We can't play the Ten Hag way with De Gea in the nets without a back three double pivot. So we need a bit extra security there, he's saying. Jackie's saying both straight in the team. Hopefully we will bring energy and drive and win. That's if Frankie and Rabiot come, I imagine, what she's saying there. And I'm going to leave it there because, there's so many more comments.
Thank you, Monday. And now I'm on to our final bit of any other business before I throw the floor over to you, just in case you do have anything to mention. And there has been an update on this Ruud the Thomas talk. He's a 27-year-old striker, believed to be available for the 25 to 30 million pound range. According to some reports in Spain, Manchester United have reportedly opened negotiations for Espanyol forward Ruud de Thomas. The fee believed to be a possible 25 million pounds, 30 million euro. The 27-year-old Spanish striker cemented himself as Espanyol's star striker after only being outscored in La Liga by legendary striker Karim Benzema and Celta Vigo's Iago Aspas last season. Taking that into account, lads, is this a viable option, do you think? And of course, you have to ask, can he adapt to the Premier League? Because is that the same Aspas that used to play for Liverpool and struggled? Or am I incorrect there?
Colin, I don't know. This has shocked me a bit to Thomas. So he was second top goal scorer in La Liga last season, was he?
Third to Karim Benzema and Aspas.
Oh, Aspas, is the one from Liverpool. Yeah, I thought you meant this guy. It's a no from me. I usually know a lot about European football and that kind of thing, but he's not in my radar. I can't even think who he is. I'm going to have to do my research on him. I'm a bit blinded by that. And because of that, I don't know who he is. It's a no from me. I just think the age, I think we should be going for the other options that we had. Maybe we need to go out there or bring Charlie McNeil in to play striker, give him the opportunity. I'm all for putting the youngsters in, and let's do it in-house, Let's coach these guys to get better players. I'm not into Raul de Thomas, any of these things. It's a no from me.
Colin, I'm going to give you also, on top of that, the plan B is believed to be that we'd move for Morata, and the article that does mention that suggests that it would be a last resort. How concerning would it be that we would have to push a last resort button?
Well, I mean, it just shows how much of a joke the club is that we're having to potentially push a last resort button. With Manchester United, we shouldn't be having to push any last resort buttons at all. We should be able to find a striker that we want and then turn around and say, yes, I want to come to you. First choice, not second choice, not third choice, not plan B, C, D, E, Z, whatever it is. We shouldn't be doing that at all. As for Raul, it's a no from me as well, I'm going to say. Is 17 goals in 34 appearances, averages 3.2 shots per 90, so that's not too bad. But his conversion ratio is 16%. That's low, and it's going to get lower in a tougher league. So no, I don't see him being the right guy for Man United.
Thank you, Colin. And while I'm with you, finally, have you any other business to add to tonight's proceedings?
No, it's all quiet. The only thing I had was obviously that update on Frankie De Jong, and that's it.
Thank you, Colin. And on Monday, any other business? And do you want? Is there any last comments that caught your eye that you want to present to us?
My only other business would be like we did say in the summertime, we have to remind ourselves. We said, look, guys, we need to be patient. It's going to be a long, drawn out season. We might not get what we want. And I just think don't overreact, guys. I know it's terrible what we're seeing at the moment, but don't overreact because we have to be patient and get behind the manager. This is a long-term project. You know, you can't have things overnight. You can't click your fingers. It doesn't happen overnight like that. So just relax. No matter how much stick you're getting, how frustrated you might feel, just relax and just trust in what we're doing. With this, it's a slow way forward. Just going to go through the comments. Jackie's saying, thank you, Colin, for the answer. Balanced and very insightful. That's regarding the goalkeeper situation. Box is asking, do we recall Chong? Bartha saying, what the F is Raul de Thomas? Yeah, that's what I felt. Here we got a good one from Matthew Bassett. Do you think that with all the different coaches, De Gea has, it's affected his ability to play? He used to be a good at playing out under Alex Ferguson and Eric Still, who was the first team coach. I'm going to leave it right there.
Thank you, Monday. Thank you very much. So I'm going to leave that in your capable hands, our wonderful viewers. Let us know what your thoughts on the Ronaldo situation is, whether or not you would welcome Mr. Rabiot if the move is expedited, and that absolutely groundbreaking news that Colin brought us from Alex Crook that Frankie de Jong could also be in place before the Liverpool game. Let us know if that is getting your heart racing and what other improvements you think Manchester United do need to make before this window shuts. If you do like what you have been seeing, please do consider give us a like, share, and subscribe. We would appreciate it, and we will be back again every evening at 8:30 to discuss the latest Manchester United news. But for this extra special Sunday broadcast, we have been the Man United Agenda. Thank you, and good night from us.